Alright. Let's see if I can hear what's going on. Is my audio even... My audio is probably blasting right now. I'm just kind of waiting for the... Yeah, this thing's blasting. Hey, basically, how you doing? Okay, audio should be a lot better now. Yeah, my bad if it's still bad. One of my ears is not working correctly right now. Okay, we got 6 minutes. Maybe I started a little too early. I was playing a little... Okay, audio's good, thank you. Also, sorry again for the delay. YouTube's delay is kind of trash. I might have started a little too early. We still got like 5 minutes left, and I was kind of just playing Skyrim until like the thing started. So I'm calling it right now. Valk is probably getting the skin. Why am I saying this? Because Valk is like right in the front. But I guess we'll see. Because this season we're getting a new skin and a new hero. Both for the Vikings. So likely we're going to see whoever gets the skin in this stream. Because judging by the pattern, it's usually... We get the skin with, like, if we get a skin and a hero, we get the skin in the first part of the season and we get the hero in the second part. That's what I'm assuming, at least. Yeah, I'd say so too, yeah. We got 4 minutes. This is kind of crazy. I could have stayed on Skyrim until it started. I just made a new character. I mean, I'm always making new characters on Skyrim. Because why not? Dude, I'm all types of broken too. My ear's messed up, and my arm is like, oh my god, basically. Thank you so much, dude. It means a lot, man. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I really appreciate that. Can I like that? Heart that? There we go, there's the heart. God, I really do appreciate that. Any amount is good, dude. Thank you so much. What was I saying? Oh yeah, my arm is like... I don't know, it hurts, and there was like a burning sensation before, and I don't know where it comes from, but this arm has given me a lot of issues. So it's the same arm I had like tennis elbow in. But how's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's doing great. One minute and 20 seconds until the stream starts. Must be setting things up. I can see them at the bottom there. I don't know what they're doing. $50 seconds. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at my phone. It's actually 30 seconds. See, yeah, obviously we can tell Valk is probably getting the skin, but I was hoping for either a Valk skin or like, even though I don't like Yorm, a Thor skin for Yorm. What do you think the new character will be like? You know, I don't know, because I'm not very like familiar with like Norse stuff, so I don't really know what they could add, to be honest. Hey Track, how you doing? Buff Valve. That would be an interesting one. Okay, let's see what we get. I kind of want to see if there's any patch notes, because I know people have been complaining about TND and what's his face, Magi.
Welcome back to another Warrior's Den. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday morning. How are you, Nolan?
I'm doing great, feeling good, feeling alive. Just enjoying this weather we're having here in Montreal too.
Nice.
So it's good.
Yeah, I'm all tanked up on coffee.
I hope they bring back
and I hope y'all at home are ready to go, because
what's that thing called?
Year 7, Season 4, TU1 starts
Ice
next
Brawlers.
week, December 7th. And we've got a packed show for you today.
Yes, I am.
Cool stuff.
Yes, I am looking at comments on my
Very
phone.
excited for all of you to see. But first, Nolan, what's dropping on the Twitch?
Thank you, Brian. Lots of things are dropping on the Twitch.
Yeah, new
Before I go any further,
it might not be
if you have
December,
not linked
but a new
your
Viking is
account
coming
to
out.
your
We're getting a
Twitch
new
account
Viking
yet,
and a
do
new
that
Viking
right
skin.
now, because you're missing out on the drops. Every 30 minutes you're with us watching on Twitch, you are going to get a scavenger crate. And at the end of the show, we're going to pick some lucky winners to win a grand prize of either 100,000 steel or the new hero skin, which will be debuting a little bit later. It's gonna be a good one. You'll see.
I'm excited. This hero skin is fresh.
It's quite
So good.
certified.
So good. Yes. Nature fresh. But a couple of things to get through real quick before we jump into all the details of this TU. The White Bonus Spirit has received its polish pass. So we
Finally
improved the armor a little bit, made it adapted it to fit body type 1 a little bit better, as well as some clipping issues and some
it still looks
things
kinda
weren't
weird,
quite
though.
working perfect with it. And so you guys can enjoy that with the drop of the TU. So those of you who put in the time for the grind, your effort will have paid off.
I definitely did, so I'm excited. Did you grind out the skin?
I did.
You have all the pieces?
I did. I got it all.
That's amazing.
It was a lot of. I actually learned.
Yeah,
the
I don't like
process that I
the-
like, Sean.
I
did
don't.
not know
I mean, the
that.
chest piece looks good with
So,
it,
yeah.
but I don't
Yeah,
like the
tend to,
arms
I like
and
my-
the
I like
headpiece.
my Vanguard Knights.
I hope the next hero.
But yeah, in addition to
Hopefully.
this, we also have an ongoing partnership right now.
Yeah,
with
W for the
Dying Light
devs.
2. So for Honor
Dying Light?
is in
I've never played Dying Light,
2.
so I don't know what
So
this
you
consists
can get
of.
your, if you've ever wanted to just like slay through some zombies on a warden, a zerker, or a kensei, you can do that now.
Now's the time.
Yeah, it's weird playing for Honor in the first-person perspective. It's
a little
yeah, it's a little weird. Got ganked just like For Honor.
just
And
still like
just
feeling
like For
that
Honor,
vibe,
it
yeah.
didn't go well. For
Yeah,
me.
the chest was
So,
would go amazing for
but
the
we have
Type
a quick
1.
message from the Dying Light 2 team. So
The
big shout
rest
out for
is-
all their work
nah.
on this, and check it out.
I'm gonna have to see what it looks like.
Warriors.
Yeah, no, I've never played
The
Dying Light. I
tools,
heard it's good,
street
but I've never
fighting,
played
and
it.
Brutal combat. All of us here love this as fans of Ubisoft's medieval fantasy For Honor, right? So when we found out we'd be able to bring the faction war to the world of Dying Light to Stay Human, we couldn't be more excited. During this limited time crossover event, Kensei, Wardens and the Berserkers will be attempting to take Villador for their factions.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
These
might have to
warriors
check it out then.
Obviously seen thousands of battlefields, but not
'Cause I heard a lot about it
prepared them for
back
this.
when it first came out, but I just never got around
And
to
one
checking it out.
You. Fights with them will be challenging, but those who answer the call to battle will be greatly rewarded. And for the greatest warriors out there who wish to represent one of their favorite factions, we have also prepared 3 special bundles. The Berserker bundle, which you can earn for free during their event, the Kensei bundle.
Okay, but why Berserker?
We hope
You have the other 2
you
Vanguards.
have in store for you. Thank you, Ubisoft,
So why
and
Berserker?
the team for the chance to create this amazing crossover.
Yeah,
Join
like
us on the battlefield.
Yeah, why-
Warriors.
you have Kensei and Warden, but not Raider or TND.
Hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed that look at the Dying Light 2 crossover. They really went above and beyond, and it looks gorgeous, and it plays well, and it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, go check it out. If you
Yeah, exactly. Like, what?
For Honor.
What were they
Like,
thinking with
They could
that?
play the whole faction war idea too. All 3 of the core factions. So good.
What's more For Honor than your faction pride and just dunking on everyone else? Because they chose wrong.
I mean, I bet it also good and plays well, but like,
But we've got a lot.
You
to
missed
cover
an
in this quarter,
opportunity.
again, everything from new battle pass to hero skin. So, you know, I know everyone's gonna love seeing that. So we should get to it sooner rather than later. But first, let's check out the season 7 or year 7, season 4 launch trailer. I'm intelligent.
okay, launch trailer time. Let's see what
Check it out.
happens. Let's see this new skin. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be here. I'm gonna shut up though.
The enemy came in the night. They offered a choice. Submit or die.
Whoa! Okay, yes, I said I was gonna shut up. Never mind.
No oath is worth such fealty. We did what we had to. Some will look down on us.
Wait, Highlander? Okay, let me shut up. Highlander!
Let them do so at the end of our blades.
Highlander skin, yo! Driplander? Okay. I'm about to make a big decision here. Yeah,
Promises hold no sway over us. A Viking must remain loyal to themselves. We are survivors.
Ice Brawlers, yes. Okay, I'm typing something in the Discord. I need to know Highlander now. Wait, patch notes and testing ground? Okay, let me go back to checking the chat. I'm sorry.
Love that trailer. It's always
yeah,
awesome
okay,
when the
I'm all
theme
caught up.
music kicks in. I'm joined by Stefan, Andre, and Alex. Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Great to be here.
Hope you're all having a great day. Ready to talk about all the deets.
Absolutely.
All right, so before we get into all the details of this TU, let's take a quick look at everything that's coming up in this TU and the next. Stefan, do you want to run us through it?
Of course.
Oh my god.
Here we
That
are
was
in,
not what I was expecting at
season
all.
4,
I did not
season
expect that at all.
finally, so let's talk about title update 1. This is where we're going to be.
Wait,
next
new
week,
armor
December
variation?
7th.
Yeah, I just died
First
on the
off,
mic.
we've got the new
Variations?
passes,
Variations. That means
that your heart could desire.
I'm pretty sure Woolen are getting armor this
And
season.
at the same time, we're going to bring the Frost
Mid so far. Bro, the Highlander
This is everyone's fan
skin.
favorite, Ice Brawler's
The
event.
Driplander.
Dunk your opponent into the ice.
I'm going to kick everyone in the ice hole.
Oh man, so Raider main over here, I guess. Dumping him in the Highlander hero skin. We're going to talk about this treasonous.
Yeah, I thought it was
character.
Warlord at
He's
first.
gonna tell you all
But then when I
about
saw the
his
giant
back.
sword, I'm like, okay, that's Lander.
Okay to betray your oaths. We've got testing grounds that will come the second week of the season, so December 14th. And JC's going to talk all about that later on. We've got 3 hero fests, so we're going to see some new heroes, executions, and your opportunity. To
Yeah, I knew it was going to be February. I had a feeling it was going to be February or late July.
Are you can go ahead and if you like.
No. Take it. You got it.
No. It's a great Viking season, so it's going to be Highlander first, as you said. Warlord second.
Bro, I love the bear coat. I'm a huge fan of
Nice.
bears.
Yeah, everybody's favorite.
How you doing, Rick?
Everybody needs a warm.
Soldier of God.
For the Warmonger execution.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be cool again this time.
Yeah, sword equals cheese grater. It's a great combo.
Exactly. And then throwback event.
Hope you're
is,
doing well, Rick.
Elimination in December 28th. For those of you looking for your black.
Wow, we got
Swash
14 souls in here. I hope everyone's doing all right.
So mark it in your calendars. And one more throwback event later in January, Justice of the Pharaohs.
Nice. And then we got some more fun stuff coming up in TU2, but
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
curious as to
Your
what they're
calendars
doing
release as
for
well.
testing
February
ground.
1st, new hero comes.
But I really want to see these patch notes
Season, so
because
look forward to that.
I know everybody's been complaining about TND and what's his
And
face.
then new armor variations as well, in that
I'm not a furry.
We've got some more hero fests that we'll talk about at that point.
Hey, Say, how you doing? I think that's how you pronounce your
looking
name.
forward to all of it.
What's his name?
That's a very long
Magi,
list of
there we
stuff
go.
coming in this
About the
TU.
bashes.
So
I want to
let's
see if
just jump
Ubisoft
right
is going to
into
do
it.
anything about the
Thank you for
bashes.
taking us through it all, Stefan.
My pleasure. The one last piece on the list that is going to be talked about later on in the show as well will be the local tone mapping improvement that Agath will talk about.
So excited to talk about this. It's cool. Sadly, I won't be there for that segment, but I'll be in the wings. I'll be watching. I'll be
Stay
watching
tuned,
you
stay tuned.
guys at
Exactly.
home. Better behave. No, so let's just start with
Shinobi too?
this season.
What, he's banned?
We're in treason. It's the 4th.
Oh, I didn't know that.
installment of Injustice. Yeah, it is the season for treason.
Yeah, I'm hopping on the Highlander
Yes.
bandwagon.
So
I'm gonna
we
learn
can talk about the
Highlander.
narrative angle
I know it's gonna be
for this
tough. I'm gonna learn Highlander.
So we've come to the end of the year of Injustice, and the Horkos have taken advantage of all the chaos to attack the Viking village of Moldar. And Moldar is a small village. It has no hope whatsoever of standing up against the might of the Horkos. And so the Horkos, in their twisted way, they give them a choice: join us or die.
Cake or death.
Exactly.
I'll take the cake.
Oh, let me check
It would seem
stream
like it would
again.
be an easy choice, but it's not for the village of Moldar.
Buff
That is
Shinobi.
the Chimera village. They've sworn an oath to the Chimera Alliance.
Oh, that makes things awkward.
It does make things a little bit awkward. On one hand, you have the village chieftain. who
This is
says,
also the first Highlander with
"Absolutely not.
pants, I just
You must,
realized.
Join the Horkos.
Usually he has his
Oath,
kilt, but they
oaths
gave
are
him
for life,
pants.
even when they don't suit you.
It's pretty lawful good.
Lawful good.
All right.
And on the other hand, you have the chieftain's
Buff Commander.
brother, Highlander Maddox, who says, "What's the point of blindly following?
You
an
buff
oath that's
TND,
just gonna get you and
honestly.
all your people
He's just
killed?"
too weak.
Yeah.
Just
So
speed
he's
up the
got a point,
bash.
as Stefan mentioned. So yes, there's that moral dilemma at play, which is eventually answered when Highlander Maddox kills his chieftain in order to survive. Yes.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
It escalated pretty fast. I mean, they didn't have a long time to choose. And yes, he allies with the Horkos and becomes Oathbreaker Maddox.
All right. Yeah, all my homies hate oaths.
Yeah. We know which side you'd be on.
He said no.
And you can see some of Oathbreaker Maddox here, and I feel like there's some narrative elements woven into
Buff
this guy,
BP's
so
Oathbreaker, yeah.
So the first
Hey,
thing to
Kira, I hope you're
know
doing well.
about, Highlander Maddox is that he is a
Dude,
survivor.
honestly, TND's
And
bash
so
is
best
like way
representing
too slow.
the,
It's
amazing
clearly.
design he has
Let me
here,
not
with the
finish that
saber-tooth
sentence.
tiger
But
pelts.
clearly, like the
story
bash is
behind
too
that
slow.
goes
We
that
honestly need to
once
just buff
Maddox
it.
was,
Make it
lost
100
in the
milliseconds.
Viking wilderness, on the point of freezing to death.
an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's
Also
pretty
make his
easy,
dodge
yeah.
lights unreactable. Yeah.
When he came across a
Just make
saber-tooth tiger,
TND
he
entirely
destroys the
unreactable.
creature, somehow
Make it so that
surviving
you
out of
can't
it.
see a single thing he's doing.
And it's a beautiful creature, very rare.
And even then, he will still be
in
like
order to
C tier
survive,
at best.
and it just foreshadows how he's willing to do whatever it takes to live, and of course his inevitable betrayal of
The last laugh needs to drop for every death. Yeah.
And then I believe there's some other elements
It
in
did
the
say-
armor as well from like the artistic direction side that kind of.
No, make last laugh
absolutely.
proc
So, of
every
course,
time you
the
get
pelt
hit.
is
Honestly,
the first
it's
thing.
the best.
It's
It would be the best.
biggest thing. It's enormous. It takes over his whole
Make
body.
TND
In a
invisible.
way, it kind of is symbolic of his own loss.
Just
of-
make
of
TND into
personhood.
a
He's kind of
golden
given away,
elite from Halo.
Maddox, who did all of this treason and is channeling it all into this persona of the saber-toothed tiger. And he is the saber-toothed tiger. That is the person who has survived at all cost.
Make
So that
TND
way
louder.
he's,
Okay, so I actually
really,
thought about something the other day.
channel all of that
Female
justification,
TND
all
doesn't
the
annoy
guilt
me as much
goes into
anymore.
there. He also
Shaolin annoys me.
Exactly.
Shaolin's voice is so
Exactly.
annoying now.
Just covering
Like, I
his
don't
arms,
mind female
covering his
TND
head,
as much anymore.
and
Shaolin
there's
is
this blood
just
swipe that goes across the
egregious.
outfit as
Like,
well,
this is
and this
ridiculous.
You kind of even say that he's been
And add
reborn
the
as
kick to the
saber-tooth
forward
tiger,
dodge.
just baptized in its blood. It's becoming something new.
That's a gooey.
TND should have
It
map-wide
really is.
sounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like Hito with the...
Yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
notice when Hito Kiri charges the
It's
heavies,
one
you
that
can hear
takes
like
color of as well.
the sound of the heavy charging from like across the map.
Yes. So he's got minimal Highlander elements left on him. He's got a little bit of plaid right at his waist. So you can still see bits of that background. You can see the accessories at his waist as
Yeah, that
well.
looks
He's got,
amazing.
a pouch. He has a horn. He's got some handcuffs.
Why does it make out
and,
cuffs?
It's really the pelt is the focal point for sure. But
No, it's great. I love those.
The
little
Highlander with
elements
pants
he's
is just
really
cursed, though, to be honest.
Yes.
as he's like
yeah,
been like,
he's chipping away.
this is me now. This
Yes.
is the new me.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life,
He looks like
I'm gonna
Berserker
take
though in the face.
you know, he's just really stepping into this like more bestial like persona.
He's also fully armored Viking.
Afira now runs so
I
fast it
believe
beats
this
Shaolin's
is,
teleport.
gonna be a fun one for
That is
everybody.
an insane feat of
It
speed.
is, yeah, the chainmail can be customized with all
Yeah,
the
give him
colors.
Warmonger's feat.
There's also a bunch of colors that you can customize. On
Honestly,
the
just
pants,
give
on the
TND corruption and make
on the
corruption
plaid.
like activate every single time he locks
all
onto
those-
somebody.
All those materials, all those color swatches, go ham. I believe if Max, if we can get that back up, just so people can see the weapon. I think there's some story in the weapon as well, right?
There
We
is,
need some
yes,
Highlander
he
ups.
has his massive claymore, and it has a bunch of like Celtic sort of designs all the way down.
Oh,
the
everyone
blade.
want a Gut Sword Dragon
You can
Slayer?
Kind of imagine that
I
these
believe it.
designs would. They're like a representation of all the blood of his friends, his allies that has gone down it. It leads all the way to
Corruption
the
Blast
saber-tooth on the
combined with
guard.
Oathbreaker.
It's a
Yeah.
very complex pattern for a complex mindset.
Gotcha. So I killed all these people to become who I am now, and this weapon reminds me of that. I like that. 'cause,
What about a
the
TND
weapons
TND
aren't really
hero
tell a
skin?
story, right?
Exactly.
Even in real life.
Well,
they dent every little
I don't want
and,
one
like,
to be honest. Now that I
tells
think
the
about it,
story
because
of the
after
basic
the
armor.
whole thing with
It looks
Shaolin
incredible.
and
Oathbreaker
everything,
Maddox will be available for
I don't
all
want to
of
see
you
a
who are like,
TND
"Yes,
hero skin.
give me
Just
my Bestial Highlander
just
on,
give me
on
my
Thursday,
outfits.
December
I don't
7th,
want a skin.
and
Just give me my
Bestial.
outfits.
So now we've got to take a quick look at the mood board. Look at that. Such board. Very mood. As you can see, there's a lot of snow, a lot of blood, and that's not.
Yeah, it'll
that's gonna
probably be up in the
continue.
air. Yeah.
We've got a lot in
I wouldn't be
that vein,
surprised if Nusha got one before TND.
including a realization overhaul of Gauntlet. So we'll take a quick look at the map.
Yeah,
realization
yeah,
for
because
Gauntlet.
especially if they don't do anything about the
We've got
palm strike
pillars
and
going into this,
TND being insanely
betrayal,
balanced
as well
in
as
quotation marks right now.
thing, so
I don't want to see new TND players.
Oathbreaker
I
Maddox
don't.
providing the killing and like the wearing the saber tooth and all that.
Have they
kind of
shown any
bestial
special
energy
effects for the
going
skin?
on. And as always,
No,
it's got
not yet.
fog, it's got cold. You know, it's winter time. You gotta have that. There's a huge tusk hanging in the middle of the map. So if you're a Tusk fan, we've got that covered. I think there's even a guy stapled to a wall with a Tusk, which is
Oh, that would be amazing to have for Highlander.
It's just one of those things throughout history. It's like, yeah, we stuck this guy to a wall as a message. And, you know, I can get behind that. So, but in addition to map realization, we also have some new realizations for the menu.
Alrighty,
and all
you make
the
sure to have
game
fun, or as
elements.
much fun as
So
you can
get your
have playing for
Oathbreaker
Honor.
Maddox looking over the cliff, pondering orbs. We've got the
Literally turning his back on you, the player, even.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Previously, only a thing that Warmonger did.
Oh, true.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh.
yeah. Ah,
Yeah, well, I hope he gets nerfed, not because of him being
we
banned.
got
I
minions,
kind of
we
miss
got
being the only
Booleans, we
TND
got,
that I
end
see
screens,
within a
world
month.
Map looking frosty, just in time for the holidays. And
people only, like,
yeah, did we
pick
show-
him
we showed
up,
the podium?
not because he's
Yeah.
fun, but because he's
Okay,
like easy
I
to win
mentioned
with.
everything. And then moving on, we've got a battle.
The guy
pass
on the wall
coming
reminds
up,
me of Half-Life
for
maps.
this season. So
I must have missed
let's take
it.
a look at all of the things that you guys can get in the battle pass. Starting off, we've got 2 battle outfits. You're going to see a theme here because we've got Traitorous Duty. I got to make sure and enunciate that one, or I'm not too much fun with it. And then we've got the Traitorous Feline, which is looking fresh.
Is that a
on
cat
everybody's
outfit
favorite
or
Roman
something?
Here. Gladiator mains are like, no, but Glad's my favorite. And we've got an ornament, Traitorous Tyrant. I like that on Shigoki because you get Tusks up, you get Tusks
Does anyone
down.
really buy the battle
Time,
outfit?
it's
Well,
Tusk time to clown.
these are event,
Traitorous
but
is
for
huge
battle
effect
outfits, do you guys
on
even like
Magi,
buy them,
and
or
if
like
you're not so hardcore to be an adherent, you can just be a
if
Traitorous
they're not gonna
Support.
nerf Berserker, doubt they will touch the
Captain
ND?
Athletic
Yeah, probably.
and Athletic Support.
What is that
And then
signature,
saddle up
Lord?
because the horses are on the
Ain't no
field.
way they got a
We are
grown
riding
man.
Dawn. Mustard Griffin having a great time. Let's charge. And then I'm super happy for this one. All the Viking fans in the crowd should be too, because you can finally Blood Eagle your opponents. Love the red tail hawk there. Definitely an eagle. Definitely an eagle, not a hawk. And then we've got some Battle Pass weapons for you. A little sneak peek. We'll have the full reel of all the weapons, so you guys can debate who won and
I'm
who lost.
speechless. Yeah, what is that
Comments,
signature?
we'll
I'm
do
just
that
speechless.
during the transition. And then wait, there's more. That's not all.
My
because
God.
we got Frostwind Betrayal. You got to listen to me talk for a while, guys. Strap in. I'm not going anywhere. So for those of you who have never done Ice Brawlers before, why? But, you know, to also be cool, it's pretty simple. You're on the ice cracks, it breaks. Don't fall in the water. Stay out of the drink. But put your friends in the drink, or your enemies too. Put everyone in the drink. Kick everyone into the drink.
Just you know what? For the
And
sake
so,
of
we do have a fun thing with the event pass this time around.
pureness,
So, the last 2 years
I'm not
we've
gonna
had
mention what I
weapons,
just thought of.
tied to ice
It's gonna
brawlers
stay in my head.
crawling on the ice. And this
Because
year's
if I
no
speak it,
different,
it's gonna come to
except
reality.
It's totally different because we're gonna
So,
have another
we're
weapon
just
set, but you can also
not gonna-
unlock the previous 2
Yeah.
years.
It'd be
weapons,
best.
this time as well. So you got 3 years of weapons in this one. So you got
Didn't
the
have anything to do with
old
any
ones.
like with anything
Hopefully
anybody
this is
said.
enough time.
That signature is just crazy.
People in the back got it. So last but
Ice
not
Brawlers
least, we got some
Domination?
event
That
pass
would be
items.
amazing.
Let's take a quick look at them. First up, we got a battle outfit, Snowy Betrayal, looking fresh on everybody's favorite moosh. And we've also got an ornament. This one's going straight on my Warmonger. The Tusks of Betrayal. I really like this one. It's very clean. I like an Art Deco thing. And then for those of you who remember the Thin Red Path trailer from days past, nice
Customized brawlers?
that there.
I
And
hope.
then
Oh
we've got
my
the
god.
Elder Oath weapons. So buy and hodl, my friends. So thank you so much, Alex, Andre, Stefan, for joining
I hope
me
they
on this
actually
segment.
bring back
And
like the Christmas executions and stuff so people can get them
always happy to have you.
instead of them being locked
But we've got
behind
a lot
the.
more coming up. We're going to talk about
wall for the
gameplay.
rest of
We've got
eternity.
quality of life fixes, but first, feast your eyes upon the full list of the battle.
Yeah,
pass
no, the hip game is crazy.
weapons. Take it away.
Shouldn't patch notes be up next, if I recall? No, but my question about that signature, we all know this is mocapped. Who agreed And I will ask again, who was the soul that, yeah, Track, that's exactly what I was thinking people would mention with that signature. So, who on earth agreed to mocap that? I want to know. Now I think about it, since it's already come to light. No, the Rule 34 is gonna go crazy with that that signature. The artists are gonna go crazy. The horny goblins in the community are buying that execution for few characters. We are not safe for the for the future. The BP comic? No, I have not seen it. I have not seen the Blackbriar comic. I have not. Yeah, I have a feeling it's very wild. Okay, that blade is crazy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I need it. No, but everybody's buying that signature for Nobushi, and there's going to be a lot of people going, well, Nobushi, PK, who else? Nusha? Yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of people going AFK in the menu, so, yeah. If y'all wondering why the game ain't starting, there's your answer. Let me look at these weapons again. Okay, that's looking kind of cool. I don't really like any of that Outlanders, so... Yeah, they always do the best on the Woolen weapons. I just now saw that. Put it on Lawbringer? That's crazy. Oh, Lord. Not the comatose. Yeah, what is that prior shield? That just looks crazy, honestly. I don't know. I'm not really too interested in any of the night weapons. I just want to see Wulin and Samurai. Yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine after what I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure Twitch chat is going insane right now. Hey, like... Yeah, event weapons are hit or miss. You know how people say don't come to school tomorrow? Don't come to For Honor Reddit tomorrow. Or in a few hours. Or like in a few minutes. Yeah, Twitch chat is the worst viewing ever, to be honest. Not the... I never should have said hit or miss. That's like if I'm gonna curse you guys right now. That's like saying about a week ago, oh my god, that Kensei blade is amazing. Yeah, they are pretty dead. But yeah, that's like me saying about a week ago. Because, if you guys were sentient back when that was, what'd I say sentient? Back when that was popular, y'all gonna kind of break out in song. Do what you must, I already won. Kick chat? Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah. Ooh, my goodness, I want that blade. Yes, indeed, I need it. But kick chat? Yeah, no. This is a team from me. Yeah, no, I can... You know, after hearing about kick being like... what was it? Uncensored? Yeah, I can... yeah. I can imagine what's going on. Yeah, people talk about going to kick or whatever. Oh, that Gen Who blade is cool. People talk about going to kick or whatever because it's uncensored, but like, why would I need to do that? I don't, like, how would I word this? I don't know, but in gambling front, I can see that. You know, anything's possible. I believe it, honestly. I never looked too much into it. I just heard, hey, this is uncensored. We're going here, and it's kind of like that. Also, illegally streams videos. Oh wow, that is insane. Uncensored, yeah. Did I say uncensored? Well, yeah, uncensored and whatever, freedom of speech, whatever. Yeah, pretty much that. Because like, in my opinion, the thing that pops into my mind is, why do you necessarily need to be uncensored? Because you don't need to be. You can be censored and function normally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, how would I word it? There's certain words you don't need to say in front of a live audience of, like, you know, people. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, whatever. I probably shouldn't get too much into that.
All right, welcome back, Warriors. Oh man, those were some awesome weapons. I know you couldn't see.
But my boy JC is here.
There, but like,
Yeah, I'd imagine all that appears, and
Yeah, it looks amazing as usual, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy. I don't know why
You enjoyed those?
people
Looking
have
forward
the
to
need to do
next
such
week.
foolishness, but
But we are ready to kind of
Lord
jump
help
into
their
our next
souls.
segment, and joining me on the couch today to talk about some
yeah, exactly. You can already
gambling
swear. You just
is,
can't
you
say
love him, the Lord and Savior JC
egregious
is on the couch today. Yeah.
words.
Hello.
It's all right. They're all clapping at home. I'm sure.
Complete newcomer. I've never been here before.
Never here. First time. Welcome. First time.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Yeah, it's been great.
Now, what people say about JC is wild as well. Like, I get it.
But speaking
JC
of,
might not be
first
the
time as
best
well, we're joined
developer,
by Agat,
but
one of our,
come on now.
graphics
I can't get behind
programmers.
talking about the
So
man's
welcome,
weight.
very
I can't get
nice to have
behind
you on the stream.
obviously death threats towards the man. He might not be the best
Do you
developer
want to
ever,
maybe tell
but
me,
I'm not gonna
the community a
talk
bit,
about that man out his
what you're
name.
doing, like, for
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, so I'm a graphics
Because at the end of the day, it's a
designer.
video game. Like, come on now.
Rendering engine, things like that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think Agat is the pure definition of first time, long time, right? You've been on the team for how long now?
So I've been on the team since 2014.
Yeah, so 9 years.
Almost 10
right?
years.
Yeah, almost 10 years. It's crazy.
That's a long time.
Yep.
By my watch. Okay. So, wow. Amazing stuff. And so graphics programmer, the
JC versus
the reason
Pope.
why the game
I remember
looks
Pope.
incredible is
What was it? He was Eric Pope or something? He was pretty cool back when he was here.
Exactly.
There it is. She took credit for it.
There you go.
It's
Because
done.
of me.
But yeah, JC, I mean, yeah, he might
So
not
we
make the
just,
best decisions, but he's cool.
And as you just said, we're always trying
I don't
to
get it.
improve
People,
for,
like, that's what I don't understand.
That's why I'm
People
very happy
doing
to
all
talk
that,
about
talking bad
graphic
out
feature
the
in the
14,
that's called
2014? Yeah, that
local
was 8 years ago.
So what is
Yeah, no,
I was gonna
dissing
ask,
anybody on
I
appearance
mean,
is
it's one of those
crazy,
buzzwords.
especially over a
It's not
video
buzzword
game.
per se, but you
That's-
hear it around, you know, and you just
It's like,
try to
why
pretend
would
you know what
you
they're talking about, but I mean, I'll be honest.
Want to do that?
Don't.
It's just vile.
Could you explain
Yeah.
a bit about it?
I'm here for that. So tone mapping without the local. Just to
Like,
do
there's no need for that.
Tone
And,
mapping
and
is
most of
the
the people
way
know if
of
JC was in
the
their
transform
face right now, they
light
would not be
from
saying
the
anything like
center
that.
to your monitor.
They save all that to the Twitter typing, not Twitter,
Frame, then you
Reddit typing.
to for it to go on your TV. And that transform, we offset it using the average exposure of the frame so that it's different if the frame is very dark or very bright. But as you can imagine, it does not work very well in the case of frames that have like a lot of contrast. For example, if you're in a dark room and then you see the sky through a big window and you take the average of that, well, what
Yeah, no,
happens
they'd say
is
nothing at all.
your
They'd be as
details
quiet as a mouse.
are in the very dark and in the very bright parts of the frame.
Just absolutely silent.
That's why we did local tone mapping.
Least
The
fighting game
idea of
computer.
local tone mapping is that instead of using one average value,
Wait, they're
we are now using
revamping
multiple
maps?
exposures, meaning the dark parts of the frame are not going to be exposed the same way that the bright parts.
I don't
of
really
the
notice a
frame.
difference.
So
Is
we
there
get back
something
those
I'm
details
missing?
without losing the
Oh, I mean, it does kind of look prettier, I guess.
quality of the look of the
Yeah,
game.
and we can kind of see
You
like.
can
Yeah, he
see
was
the
here earlier.
video, yeah.
Right, so basically, like from what I understand, because also a bit of a neophyte on this thing, because I'm not a graphics programmer clearly, but it kind of like it's kind of like the brightness, right? So you kind of adjust the brightness depending, because normally you apply it to everything, and it kind of if there's like light and dark, it kind of all gets down to the middle. Whereas this, it makes the bright areas brighter.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
dark
They'd be
areas, like,
excited.
a little bit bright, darker, I guess. So you see a lot more of the detail. Like I think this is one of my favorite ones because you look at it and the detail.
Yeah,
and
sending
texture
death
right
threats is
above the
crazy.
archway at the bottom, like, you
Now,
see it so much
like
more. You see the
this-
texture really, really well. It's super cool.
Yeah, you can
this
see all
community
the
is
barrels and
insane.
weapons and details,
It's disappointing.
around in the dark areas, but the sky looks exactly the same. It's not like blown out.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
yeah,
would,
right.
yeah.
Wow.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And
Yeah,
they
I
buff
think
magic
you
and
can
every
really
set.
see the difference here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
So how do we turn this on?
So local tone mapping is a graphic option in your in our quality mode on current gen, so PS5 and Xbox
Yeah, man, I guess it does look
and on PC.
prettier.
Series X.
I mean, okay, so
Sorry.
let me not get mesmerized. This is not what I asked for, and I do not care about this
on
update.
PC,
See, what you
that's
need to do,
by default.
fix the glitch where I keep falling under the map in every single game mode. Fix the glitch where I have to, like, my outfit resets when I leave the game.
Yeah, of course.
Fix your servers. Fix the group invites. And
Yeah, well,
anything else that I failed to mention. I do not care about brighter maps and prettier maps. Fix the things that are pestering me and that have been bothering me for years. Please and thank you. My goodness.
That we just have people on our team like yourself who just continue to push improvements and continue to just like push on the quality and the features of the game.
Yeah, it's like
This
barely any
7
difference.
years live, like it's amazing that we are able to still continue to do new things like this, to deliver new content like this. So that's really cool. So thank you very much for sharing.
Amazing.
Like, we can fix
Cool.
the maps or whatever. We can make everything look
On from
pretty
that too, we have,
after we
some
fix the game-breaking issues.
balanced stuff to talk about.
Because
So
I'm
guys,
pretty
wanna
sure
walk
I
us
can't think of a
Yes,
single
so
soul
let's
that's
go
like,
back to
oh yeah, you know what? I want the maps to be a little brighter. No.
So
I want the
example,
game
we
to
have
function.
something,
Dodge bash changes. Hold on, let me look at
dodge
that.
bash changes, right? So if you've been playing, if you were there,
Lose tracking.
last to you,
Last two.
we pushed changes to everybody that had a front dodge bash.
You don't like
for
looking under the map.
We made them fast. We put them in 433. But then what ended up happening was that we had a bit of an unexpected.
Oh, wait. No, I'm
thing
just-
that
okay, never mind.
Happened, which is it widened a gap in which your opponents could dodge your front dodge bash at a much wider window without being able to be punished whatsoever. That was not our intent, and so we were doing.
Now you have the gladiator Wi-Fi weapon.
This situation doesn't happen again. Just to be clear, on live before, when they were 500, there was 2 one-frame windows, where if your opponent dodged in any of those windows, they were 100% safe. Clearly, it's a one-frame thing. It was super hard to time. In this case, the window was a bit larger. So what we ended up doing is that we adjusted the time, the tracking of all of these front dodge bashes, so that you have to dodge them 100 ms later to properly, like, for the tracking to kind of really break and to make sure you're going to dodge them. So it means that early dodges will be beaten by delayed bashes, late dodges.
Okay,
will be
that's
beaten
good,
by
yeah.
Either early bashes or.
I'm eager to see how this will play out.
break. So we've
which also
adjusted that,
means
like,
we're gonna have
really
another
hardcore
Gen
to
Who
make
video
sure
coming
there's
soon.
No more of any of those windows whatsoever.
The next 2 videos are going to be
so that
Kensei videos.
we really go to
Unless
our
I feel like
intention
this
that we had, which was
one
making
I'm
those attacks
doing next
that were
is
like really good
um,
openers and ways to open
not
up
going
opponents
well.
and not have moments where, well, I don't care. I'm just going to dodge at this timing and I avoid everything, and then it kind of defeats the purpose, right? So it took us like a bit of time to figure that one out.
but now it's going to be live next week, so that's great.
Nice.
On top of this, to make sure that the front dodge into guard break worked, we also did a pass on Conqueror, Yorm, and Zanhu specifically because these 3 heroes had a longer front dodge recovery. And because of that, the front dodge into empty guard break would not catch those super late dodges. So because of this, we've lowered that by 100 ms. They're all I think they're at 900 now for all of them. We have they've been lowered by 100, but I think they're all at 9. So because of this, it only applies to those heroes. But because of this, you should be able to reliably really catch all those super late dodge attempts if you need to. But if you buffer your bash, then those late dodge attempts are going to get beaten anyway. That kind of works. On top of this, we've
Okay, here's the meat and potatoes.
Medjai and to Tiandi. So for Medjai, we had a little experiment going where we did the front dodge.
I saw Tiandi and Medjai instantly.
Instead of at 3,
Wait.
because axe mode was really, really underperforming. But that was a mistake, right? Like it happened.
Whoops.
We're all human, and it's okay. But that was a mistake. The biggest issue it caused.
I don't remember the numbers.
Very
Is this good or is this terrible?
Is that
I don't remember the numbers from
in
before.
some cases, if you hit Medjai with a light and then you did a heavy that was slow enough, Medjai could recover fast enough, buffer into a front dodge bash, and then beat the following heavy, which was really, really something we did not want to happen. So we re-standardized.
Okay, nerf's good.
It's okay. It still works.
See, my volume for the
It's good.
on
And
my
also for Tiandi,
computer or
so
whatever,
Tiandi had
it's
another
like
issue
lower,
where
so I kind of have to wait till they
before
say
these
something,
changes
or you
were
guys
live,
say
if you had
something for me to
Tiandi
like
and you did,
understand
you did
in a
palm
way.
to light finisher, and you canceled the recovery.
Okay, good.
you
TND
were
nerf. That's what I like to hear.
palm, like front dodge palm. You could get interrupted by the opponent.
Yeah, axe mode is like
it
doesn't really have
This
hitbox.
could not happen anymore. And so you could say, yeah, it's the same on like Orochi, for example. The difference is Yandi's front dodge light is on
And my
top.
ear is not
So with
functioning
Orochi, if you're
properly,
facing
so
Orochi,
yeah, some things I
you
just
see
simply
that
don't
this is
hear.
happening, you can buffer a dodge, and you're gonna beat the palm and the front dodge light. Whereas with Tiandi, you could not. So the only option that you had was I have to make a super difficult read against the bash or the light that's undodgeable. And so
Okay,
for
good.
this- to fix this,
So back
we
to doing what I was
just
doing before
delayed
then.
the entry to palm strike at 366 in the front dodge, right? So it was at 300, now it's 366. Palm is still 433, so when you add these all together, it kind of comes to the exact same timing as we had before. This is very specific to Tiandi because this was going to be really frustrating. Now, if you mash light in this situation, you're going to trade, and since you're trading against a bash, well, you win because Tiandi's not going to get any damage. That kind of works out there. Works super well, and that really helps resolve those. really
Excellent.
frustrating
Now,
situations that we've been
wait, no Shinobi nerfs?
It's always amazing to me like what just like a couple frames will
Yeah,
do.
yeah, it's crazy. Like sometimes we do something with one frame and then it breaks everything. So
Yeah.
sometimes like 1 or 2 frames it changes everything. But it also, like those single frames sometimes mean the difference between something is reactable and something isn't.
Yeah, TND
And
numbers
as
are gonna
we've
drop.
talked
Thank
about
God.
before, at 433, it's unreactable for everyone. And so this is great because with these fixes as well, let's say you get matched up with players that are like super strong, right? That are reaction monsters, they still can't reliably dodge these bashes and have the good thing. They can react to their front dodge, but they still have to make a read as to what you're going to be doing, or you're going to buffer it, delay it, whatever.
Yeah.
So because of this, it really equalizes the playing field and it makes it a lot more viable with absolutely everyone. So that's amazing.
Nice.
And then next up, we have some changes to
Oh, Hitokiri.
which I find it interesting because I've been looking a lot
Did
at
Hito get more hyper armor?
the minion team composition, and there's a nice
What
pair
the-
with the Hito.
Okay, hold on. What is this?
But yeah, so for Hitokiri, we've done a couple of
Trajectory?
changes here. Nothing overly major, but still enough to give the hero like really nice quality of life changes.
Okay, whatever that is, no longer has
This
hyper
move,
armor.
which
I
is,
don't know what move that is.
Fitted chain heavies. They now gain uninterruptible stance at 100 ms. It used to be at 300. Now at 100, we really, really want players to be able to use this hero, use the heavies, target swap them, do all sorts of crazy things, and having that armor kick in a little bit earlier means you're less vulnerable to healing. You
Hyper
can trade. This was the original intention of Hitokiri as well, to be like a big trading hero. We had the heavy on red meme that
Oh, yes.
I
remember those days.
strong.
I'm
Right,
not
and it's
sure if
okay,
that's the
like, yeah,
finisher.
but with
Okay, it
this
is the
thing, it's
finisher?
changed, so
Okay.
it's a lot, it's less problematic, but it still works really quite well. So that's amazing. And to go with this, we've also adjusted the weapon trajectories for all of her heavy attacks on the sides to have better range. So they go a little bit above, like they go a little bit further in the weapon. They're a bit flatter. Again, this is to really give the hero really good team fight ability.
Chain light?
Able
Okay.
to trade, use those attacks, defend yourself while attacking. Something that we really like to have on certain heroes. Valkyrie is one of those heroes, so that's great. But to also compensate for these buffs as well, we also removed the uninterruptible stance on Makai Rift, which is her light finisher.
Oh, that's for the chain. Oh, okay, okay.
Before you would use it to like.
I thought. Okay, okay. I was thinking of something else.
As a trading tool, right? But the damage on it is lower. It's not. It's slow, so the armor doesn't last as long. So there's all those little issues here that are not as good. So we decided like let's remove it from there. It's not really as necessary anyway because the armor is better on the heavies. And we've also increased the chaining timing to Ray Kick from light attacks to be 133 ms later. So this might be like, what does this mean? But basically it means that if I'm in neutral, I hit you with a light, and then I go into kick, you can interrupt me with a light on your own, right? So we really want to, again, promote the usage of her heavy attacks, her charged heavies. Make sure you confuse your opponents, like partial charge, no charge, full charge, whatever you want to do. But the idea is like we really want to encourage the use of her heavy attacks as much as possible. It works in this way as well. After a heavy, you don't have those issues, so you're a lot safer. And so again, it's really push forward for those heavies as much as possible. I'm super excited to see where that's going to go, especially as I said, which is interesting, right? We
got
really
Centurion, yeah.
Meta outside of when she launched, and now it seems she's usable like in Dominion with like some pairings. It's super interesting. They're able to like super interesting ganks. I can't wait to see if this ends up also affecting her viability in 4v4 game modes, which is super cool, right? It's one of those heroes that's been underperforming a little bit, so we're trying to adjust top for it a little bit to make sure that we kind of make smaller adjustments to the meta to really equalize things even more. We're in a much better state than we've ever been, right? I look at tier lists from players and they're super compressed, and even like they're not only are they super compressed, but also like the difference between the tiers is not as huge as it used to be, right? We used to be like difference with like A tier and C tier is completely unplayable, and A tier is like you have to play these. And now it's like, well, C tier, they're good, they're playable still. They're not the best picks, but they're still playable, so it's super cool.
Oh, was that it?
We're really happy. The entire people on the fight team, and pretty much everybody on the team, is really happy about the fact that.
I mean,
all
there's nothing else I can really think of, so I'm not mad if that's it.
We've been doing a lot of reworks. It might look like it's slowing down a little bit because we're doing these changes, we're doing a lot of stuff. But at the same time, we try to be a bit more focused on specific changes to specific heroes to bring them up to adjust for the meta and not make super huge wide sweeping changes to the heroes, because then it kind of leads to like way bigger shakeups in the meta, and then it can be too much. It's daunting. Players come in, there's like 8 million changes to every character. Like, what am I doing? What's happening?
Yeah, now I'm curious on what they're going to do with the testing grounds. It's probably Highlander, yeah.
To do these things, but we're trying to be a bit
Yeah,
more
testing grounds
reactive
coming
and
up.
a bit more focused on what we do and trying to do like big major wipes.
Well, and again, big system changes like this too, just like with the dodge.
Okay, so question, do y'all even care about the tournament stuff?
Push towards making sure that like every hero is viable, right? Just having these changes makes Conk, not Conk, but Conk, but like Centurion, for example, way better, because if all of a sudden his Legion kick is fully unreactable, you actually have
Yeah, meta shakeups are definitely interesting.
with Centurion.
Yeah,
Which lets you
yeah, I
go
agree.
way better into like what your other options are. So a lot of that kind of plays into this as well, where we're trying to make the game.
I'm sure it's a new
accessible. We're trying to make sure the skill gap is still there, but that the ways that you initiate with opponents are less about am I able to react to the attack itself, but what am I able to react to that's surrounding it, right? So it makes for a much more dynamic gameplay in that aspect.
Nice. Well, very cool. Well, thank you for sharing those updates there. So that's awesome. And yeah, one other like.
Yeah, I was about to say, because after testing grounds, we can probably just dip, and I can just go edit and all that, because I've talked to a lot of people. A lot of us genuinely do not care about the tournament. We just are here for the meat and potatoes, and then we leave. Because after tournaments is what, the wrap-up? But, I mean, we've already discussed everything, so we don't really need that.
This is honestly, it's an amazing tool for us to interact with the community, really see the issues that you're flagging and that you're pointing out to us. So we just kind of want to just do a general reminder at this point too that it's here, you can use it, and you know, when you do use it,
Yeah, the
as
JJ
much
meta's crazy.
information you can provide, or videos or screenshots, or just please make sure to add as much as possible. We do look at these things for sure. We have we have teams that are in charge of that. So.
I get people that are looking at these things like poking me almost every day, going, "So what do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And we really take that into consideration quite a bit to see if something. Because sometimes it's just feedback, and it's great to just see that feedback, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just put feedback on there, and it's great to even just have that. Sometimes it's genuine bugs that we hadn't seen before, and it's okay, there's a little problem here, so we're looking to like fixing that.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're definitely afraid of
It's
that.
a great tool, and again, we love your feedback. So please continue to.
The uproar
send
would
it our way,
be
what you like, what you don't like.
crazy.
You know, it's okay. Just send us your feedback. We really like to be involved in that. So. Very cool.
People
All right.
might actually show up to
that
JJ,
about wraps
not
it up for
JJ,
this segment, though,
JC's
but,
house.
Don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we're going to talk some testing grounds as well. That's coming up, so JC will be here. But again, just want to say thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for local tone mapping, because it looks so cool.
We're very happy to be here.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
All right, so next week, you look out for that in the performance setting. So, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you.
Okay, testing grounds, and then we can call it, because we don't care about the tournament. Afira rework is crazy. We noticed that Afira players, they want their infinite pack, so we gave them 3 different infinites for them to freely choose from. I use the bug reporter all the time. I hope they actually look at it at some point. Place your bets? Okay. TND rework. So, we noticed that TND players were upset that he got nerfed, and we knew this would happen. So what we did was we prepared another rework for the occasion. Centurion, that would be an interesting one. Shaman, okay. The Hellfire sound, okay. Thank you. Honestly, just do Ocelotl rework, even though he just came out. Pirate? Okay. Warlord.
And we're back once again.
Do a Warlord rework.
JC.
Hello.
Yes, the savior of balance.
I am.
Commander rework.
I also,
If they did,
say, I didn't know Nolan before.
please, oh my god, I'm tired of eating 60 damage from the commander.
Okay, well, nice to meet
I
you,
do
Brian.
stuff. Hey, what's up?
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a tested grounds coming December 14th through December 21st.
Yeah,
Quick
see,
note,
that's the most unappealing
later
thing
in the
about
show, you're
Warden.
gonna see an asset
He,
that says
like, the whole shoulder bash, light shoulder bash thing,
we
I
talked
It's so boring. Warden is one of the most boring characters to look at.
So it's the 17th, or sorry, 14th through the 21st.
I do not like looking at any Warden
yeah,
gameplay
let's
because
just
he's
dive
so
right
boring.
into it.
Peacekeeper? Medjai? Wait!
Yeah, I know, but they
Medjai?
pumped, and we need to get them pumped.
That's the problem.
Okay, someone did say PK,
So in this
and then
round,
said
we're doing
Highlander.
3 things, right? We're doing some.
I don't think any of us were thinking Medjai.
Doing some Medjai changes, about time, and we're doing Highlander round 2, right? So I'll go over it as we go. We'll start with Peacekeeper, right? Because we want to see what's going on here.
What?
So Peacekeeper right now is pretty good in duels. Right? Like,
Medjai?
yeah, she's a beast in duels, right? Like she has like pretty good offense.
Excuse me?
But
Did they just nerf Medjai just to put him in training or testing ground?
Okay,
Axe
but
change?
The thing is when you're playing Dominion, when you're playing like more like team fight game modes, basically, right? Anything you have like team fights going, she struggles from external quite a bit.
Yep, you called it for
She
PK.
relies on her bleed, and so because she relies on her bleed, And the only way to effectively apply bleed is really going to be through guard break, or maybe if you're lucky, you can peel it into a deep gouge. We've
Okay,
done something a
Lord,
little
what am I
bit
going to
different
see?
here, right? So we've added a new move to her, which is a front dodge bash. But as you'll see,
What?
it is
Excuse me?
so right now it's
Excuse
766
me?
MS. You can do it
PK with a shoulder bash?
front dodge.
I just lost my voice
It
with
doesn't
that.
chain on miss, so if I go here,
What?
I miss. Well, I didn't miss, but it doesn't matter. It
PK
doesn't
with
chain on
a
miss.
shoulder bash?
And when it lands, it guarantees a deep gouge, which bleeds your opponent.
And this is not variable timed, right?
This is not variable time, right? So it's a straight 766 right now. We did this because we didn't want her to have a bash from neutral in 1v1 situations.
Yep, nope, those two didn't get nerfed.
Right, so this works well. All that sort of stuff kind of is good. She has good ways to defend herself and to apply bleed. But
PK with a shoulder
like I
bash is
said
just
before,
crazy,
when you-
honestly.
When you're
Like,
outnumbered, when you're external from an opponent, they could just block external towards your way, and then Peacekeeper was like, right? So by having a slower bash, you can
Wait, did it do bleed? I completely missed it. Or you're just saying remove bleed as a whole? Like, just saying it.
We've seen it land a ton. Like if you look at Magi, for example.
Yeah, because imagine PK doing that against, like, Shugoki. She would just, like, fly away.
Very reliably. We want this to be the same here.
Or
There's a
Lawbringer.
lot
He's
of
just
ways
gonna
to
he's just gonna not move.
And this really opens up Peacekeeper because when you do land it, you get your deep gouge, they're bleeding, and then you go to town like you usually do, right? You get your unblockable heavy finishers, you get all that good stuff. That's super, super cool. Let's
It
really
does
put
bleed?
opponents away.
Oh my god.
Without making it like too useful.
Exactly, right? Because also the thing is, like Peacekeeper has been like she's not really necessarily a really bash character, so we wanted to make sure that she doesn't rely on bashes in 1v1 specifically. So that's kind of like the thing. We wanted to keep the flavor of the hero quite a bit with those stabs and that sort of stuff, so that kind of works.
Put a tool in the kit there for when she.
Exactly, right? It's a very, very, very targeted tool for very specific situations. The other thing to note is that this animation right now is placeholder. It is not the final animation. The animation team is super hard at work into making it look even better. So we can get feedback on this if you want, but it'll change.
I think a few people in chat have mentioned it already.
Yeah,
And
so
so
probably.
Don't worry.
Yeah, so let me do it again here. So yeah, you get this.
It'll be different.
It'll be different. Don't worry about it, right? So
Okay, they said it's a
couple other changes to
placeholder,
Peacekeeper
okay.
As well, so it's going to be a bit hard here to show it, but we've also adjusted the trajectories, the attack, the weapon trajectories of her side heavies. So because of this now, like these attacks hit further out, a little bit flatter, so she's going to be able to defend herself better when she's outnumbered. Again, same thing as we had with Hitokiri, like what we talked about just earlier, where having those slightly larger trajectories really helps in keeping opponents off of you.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that Lawbringer, that
Yeah,
man was
exactly,
like
right?
off
That
a
kinda
perk
makes sense there.
30 when he
That's
was
great.
doing the bash.
Another
That
thing
man did
we've
a
done,
shoulder shimmy or something. I don't know
I don't
why
know
they
if you
thought that
remember
was acceptable.
way back when.
That's just simply not acceptable.
The time before time.
The time before time, right?
Yeah.
Where we changed the input on her deflect attack, right?
right.
It used to be on light, and we put it on heavy. And the reasoning was, well, you kind of had to option select, like do like light heavy whenever you did a dodge to make sure it would land, you would go into it. And it felt kind of like a bit odd. But then looking back at it, like we've been looking back at it, we've been wanting to do this for a while. Because
Change the
it's an
input on the
attack that
deflect?
bleeds,
That's kind of
all
weird.
of her attacks that bleed come from
I heard that
her
late, I'm
dagger.
sorry.
Her dagger is always on the light attack button. So we've actually reverted this, and now it's back onto the light button input. I know a certain frozen person that's probably in chat right now that is ecstatic about this change.
Everybody's favorite Bond villains jumping up and down right now.
So that's great. So we did that change. It's going to be awesome. It really it feels better with the character as well. It makes it's a lot more in line with what she does. That's pretty.
That makes sense why, Raul.
Yeah.
It's one of a list of reasons why I'm trash with PK. Because I
Exactly.
could never get the deflect thing.
Next up, we have zone attack. So zone attack, we've lowered the cost of the initial hit. It used to cost 40, then 10. Now it costs 20 plus 10. So again, stamina economy. You
Love
can
to
use zone
see.
attack. Yeah, it's always good.
Stamina in this economy?
Yeah, right. How does that work?
Yeah, that change is going to confuse a
Okay,
lot
so
of people, I
that's there.
feel
Again,
like.
you'll be able to use your zone attack a lot more often. Really good part of her mix-up as well. The second hit is unblockable when you're bleeding. So again, adds a lot of pressure. Super cool. And then finally, with Peacekeeper, the last thing we've done is we've removed the strict input requirements on her stabs when she guard breaks and on deep gouge. So for example here, right, I'm not that good at the time these. or whatever. Now I can just go.
Yeah, they got a whole lot of Beyblade action.
Nice.
And it works, no problem. Same for deep gouge, right? I can mash it and it's gonna come out. Before, if you mashed it, it really didn't come out. It's good because like it's a lot easier to input, but at the
Oh,
same time,
let me
you
comment
still
on the
want to, like,
guard break
stab
thingy requirement.
like into
It's
a-
kind of about time they did that in a way, because they did it with they did it with Shaolin and his
Your third stab is gonna
triple
come out.
light
You still have
thing.
to have
So I mean, it makes
a bit
sense for
more,
them to
like,
do
the
it
input
with
that the
PK.
king of
Although I don't
Fire
know why
did
they didn't
at
just
that
do it all together
Got
for
but
each
at
character,
least, like,
but
it
I mean, it
a
makes
lot more
sense.
accessible to just mash it.
You don't have to have the timing specific, but it's not going to let you throw in 8 inputs to light and then still follow up with
Exactly,
kick.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
So that's the
So you
important.
still have to get the number right.
Yeah.
You just don't have to also like 50-pound brain it.
But let me ask this:
Yeah.
How do y'all
Well,
feel
it's the
about
same we did with, like, with
stam
Shinobi, right?
pause
Shinobi had the same
and
kind of
stam
thing with
drain?
sickle ring,
Because I've
where we
been
removed
hearing
the
people
input
say,
because
since
the
the bash
requirements
changes,
with those tabs,
we
but at the
don't
same time,
really
if you wanna do, like,
need
stab,
stam
stab,
drain
back
and stam
foot,
pause.
back
So
foot,
what do you guys think?
Because you get better frame advantage, for example. You still have to do it consciously and just not just mash and then try to do something, right? Happens to me all the time, so I'm well aware of how bad I am at this. That's kind of good there.
I still won't be able to do it.
Right.
Something fell.
Something fell, doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's it for Peacekeeper. So now let's go look at Medjai. Right? So
Yeah.
Medjai is a super cool hero. A lot of people love him.
Yeah.
There's been
Wide boy.
Yeah, right. The white boy. There's something that
Okay, yeah,
I think
yeah, because it is very annoying,
a lot of people have been requesting for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
especially on Prior. Oh my God.
People are like, oh, I wish I could switch modes constantly in the middle of a fight because I don't like having to do back and guard break to switch and I'm kind of stuck and I can't do anything.
Yeah, huge point of feedback. I want to be able to just
Exactly, right?
between
guess what?
modes.
Okay, what's happening with Medjai?
Well, now Medjai has a new move that is accessible from either staff mode or axe mode, which is performed with zone attack. So after any attack that Medjai does, if you do zone attack, you switch modes and you go into this. Right?
That's
It
interesting.
counts as a heavy. So if I go into a heavy afterwards, like if I go into like back into staff mode, I go heavy, going into a heavy, I go into my heavy finisher.
Wow.
If I go going into light, I go into my chain lights, right? So
Nice.
it really counts as a heavy. So your next heavy that you perform, like if you do another heavy right after that,
Yeah, places. That would be a very interesting thing to have, to be honest.
Stance. If you're in axe, it's gonna be the unblockable one. That's kind of like the idea here. We really wanted to make sure that you had that flow. And also, what's kind of cool is you can go and zone into zone, constantly
Oh my
switch
goodness.
as much as you
Now
want.
that's some Beyblade action.
Rafflecopter goes
Right?
whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
You can go kind of nuts, but that's kind of interesting, right? So you can, it really adds a lot to this flow, and really go into, you can go ham in what you want to do, but it's also super cool, right? You're able to.
Nice. Medjay Main's eaten today.
On top of this, we've also removed the armor, the uninterruptible stance on staff mode, chain lights, and light finishers.
Why is everybody turning into a Beyblade?
Mostly because
What is
one
going
machine
on
that
here?
Medjay has when you're in staff mode, like it's super strong, right? You have like
Is this the spin to win era?
and you had that uninterruptible stance constantly, and so it made the hero. super
Zerk mains are
difficult to
pressed
deal
right now.
When and Medjay didn't really have to think. You just did like light heavy, light heavy, light
Yeah.
heavy. You didn't really care. But now, because of this, you need to be smarter into how you play and be more aware of what's going on around you because you will be peeled if you use your light attacks. Like most players are going to be able to be good enough to hit you right in between those little timings, so that you have to be a lot more conscious as to what you're going to be doing. So it's a bit of a nerf here, but it's I think a well-deserved nerf.
Yeah.
Like staff mode has been like overperforming for a while, so that was kind of necessary. And last but not least, the light finisher in axe mode is now undodgeable.
Undodgeable? Excuse me.
Part here. So the idea here is that when you do a bash,
Undodgeable,
so
what?
that's cool. That kind of works as usual.
Yeah.
But then you had a situation
Oh my
where your
God.
opponent could just mash dodge, get out of your light and your heavy. Right? You chain heavy
Yeah.
or your light finisher.
Yeah,
And so
it's,
we had
really annoying for
Right, it's
Aussie.
super annoying, right?
Yeah.
Because then the offense that the hero has was not as strong as it should have been. And so we had to choose between putting undodgeable on the light finisher or on the chain heavy. And we decided to put it on the light finisher because we really wanted to keep that identity of the hero of when you're in axe mode, when you do heavies, the only property you really get is unblockable at the end. and it became like super rainbow, like like Christmas tree-ish, even though it's kind of the season. But like you would
Oh
get
god.
moving
You
to
know,
orange and
it makes
all those
sense
kinda
though.
crazy things.
Now that I think about it,
Instead we put on
because
light finishers,
I mean, it's not
it
the
also
first character to have
emphasizes the
bash
fact that as
undodgeable
a
mix,
Medjay,
so
if you do this right, I go into this light, we're
yeah,
back
considering the
to
hype
full,
or
and
the
I'm frame
hitbox is non-existent.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
I still have to reopen up my opponents. I still have to get into it. But I did get damage. I did beat their bash. I did their dodge. I did beat their dodge with a very, very good option as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like, it's not super easy for everybody to react to, even though they're 500 MS lights. You still have to kind of know what you're doing. The heavies still work. Heavy feint to guard break, heavy feint to parry still works. All that sort of stuff works. But I really want to make sure that you had that option now. So you have more guaranteed damage. You're scared. Your opponent's going to be scared of dodging. And if they're scared of dodging, it means your heavies are probably going to land more if they're blocked. Then if they're blocked, you get access to your finisher. All those kind of things that kind of like fall into place a lot better for the hero. So that's the idea here for Medjay.
Kind of the TLDR
Oh,
should
hold on.
feel a little.
Someone talks about
a lot
Nafira
better to
rework
play,
later.
a lot more
Oh my
fluid,
god, yeah.
but a little easier to crack.
Nafira is going to turn into a Beyblade.
Solve some of those like pain points of
Yeah.
fighting against Medjay.
Exactly, right? So that's the big thing here. And I love that, like, now you can go this, that into an unblockable, and get like that super cool flow. It's amazing. So can't wait for players to try that out. It's gonna be cool. All right, so that's it for Medjay, and then let's go to Highlander.
Alrighty, Highlander time.
We've done Highlander testing grounds in the past, and it was received, right? We talked about it before. There's a lot of good stuff, and there's some things that we've received a lot of feedback about that players weren't super happy about, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
So what we've done with Highlander,
Oh, she already can be. Oh, my
we
bad.
decided to do a second pass, address the more
The vertical
problematic
cartwheel.
parts of what we had in the first testing grounds, but at the same time keep a lot, because everything that kind of worked we kept, because it still made sense, right? So what we're going to be talking about right now, what I'm going to be like explaining, is if I don't talk about it, is the same as it was.
Alright, then after Highlander,
So we
That's
don't
what-
mention it today.
I go edit,
because we didn't-
and I have apparently several
Right.
messages to
So,
answer,
first
so
off, we have,
my goodness, I'll have to do that.
Offensive form. So when you're in offensive form, we had side dodge keyboard toss, right? That we were like, yeah, it's kind of cool, it kind of feels good. But at the same time, it was kind of problematic because it unbalances, because it
Yeah.
it had too many issues, right? You would unbalance somebody, so you got your guaranteed heavy afterwards, which is what kind of Highlander was kind of about on live right now. But at the same time, because it unbalances people, you had allies that can go and just go, somebody's on the ground, let's hit them for all we've got constantly. You had our Yorm or Centurion nearby. It's like, well, guess what? You're dead.
Yeah, you're gonna get jumped.
Off of a defensive maneuver, which is not something that we really wanted to have. So instead what we've done is we've added a new side dodge attack, which is on heavy. So if you side dodge and you release heavy, you go into a dodge attack. Right now we put animation of the defensive form side dodge attack. This is also placeholder.
Yep.
It's getting reworked. It's similar-ish because we still want to have like trajectories and stuff, and we're still able to hit people externally. But at the same time, like it's a lot safer. It lets us balance the damage of it as well quite well, because it's on a heavy, it can execute, so that's kind of good. But it doesn't need to deal like upwards, like close to 30 damage, just because you managed to do a side dodge and got into something. So that's like one of the big changes we've done here.
And for the animation hawks in chat, just to make sure everyone heard it, placeholder animation.
Yeah, placeholder, right?
got a
This
new
is
one.
the,
Oh, wow,
the
that is
exact
faster.
animation as we have on offensive, on defensive form rather. Sorry. But it is getting changed. So that's that's good. I saw like a prototype of it this morning.
Yeah, nice.
It also kind of fast falls back into offensive stance as much as you want. You can go into like if you don't do anything.
Oh yeah, also keep in mind, if JC doesn't mention it, then it wasn't changed at all. It would be the same as
side dodge attack here, as iframes, all the good stuff.
before.
Nice.
With this, we still kept keyboard toss on the front dodge, right? But we have removed the change we had done. We reverted it.
We got a lot of feedback.
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback on this where like we sped it up, right? We had sped it up because it was landing much more often. And so getting stuck in that animation constantly didn't feel super good. So we've reverted it. So now it's back to the timing we had before, right? So you grab him, Highlander lovingly looks into your eyes before he chucks him down. So, but that's one of the feedback we've got. Like I remember seeing that feedback a ton from people.
Yeah, we saw feedback on both sides. Both
Right.
like it doesn't feel good to be in this all the time, and also from Highlander mains saying, like I miss that moment of like gotcha.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you know.
So we reverted that specifically to make sure that we were good for this. Another change that we've done is the top light in offensive stance is 400 ms. It
Bonk.
used to be 5, so now
Bonk.
it's 4. So you have that 400 ms into every single stance now. That's great. It's very, very good unreactable offense. It's enhanced, right? So you're like, well,
I love the pommel bonk every
Yeah.
time.
It's
It
super
doesn't
cool,
matter.
right?
Any hero, any game. The thunk.
yeah, that's great. Next up, we have zone attack. So it's kind of hard to show right now, but we've adjusted the weapon trajectories on his zone attack as well, so that you were able to hit minions and opponents more reliably externally. There was some issues with it that we actually managed to resolve, so it should be a lot more reliable at hitting people outside. I know I had a lot of players send me videos of I'm doing zone attacks and then the sword
Yeah, and it's just
space
swooshing through.
like minions and stuff. So that should be all fixed right now. And then the last change that we've done might be a little bit hard to show, but basically we want Highlanders to be able to enter offensive form a little bit easier, right? And have less risk to do it. So we still have the I throw a heavy, I feint into offensive stance. That's great. But then from neutral, if you hold heavy, you go into it, but it takes a long time.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
at higher
interesting.
levels, at most levels actually, if you see a Highlander doing this, you could just light them out of it.
Yeah.
Every single time you see him enter, you light it, right? That's why those backstep lights were necessary, because you had to backstep into offensive stance.
Yeah.
So you would be safer.
Otherwise,
So-
every Nobu on the planet's going to boop.
Exactly. So what we've done is something a little bit tricky, where you can now cancel the entry of offensive form from neutral 266 ms earlier. You can do it into a dodge. So normally if you look at the time it takes for me to like go heavy and then before I'm in, or I can do whole and then dodge a little bit earlier. And so from our testing internally, from what we've been looking at, it means that your opponents can no
Wait, wasn't the
longer just
wave dash
randomly
like
throw a light
weaker
when they see you
as well
enter
on the last update?
because you can go
Because I know people wanted it to be like
into
the same as it used to be.
dodge into a side dodge attack, for example, and you're going to beat their light, their recovery, everything there. So it should make entering offensive form from neutral also safer here, right? It's still a read. If you don't want to dodge, then your opponents have to do something else, but they can still guard break you. But if they try to guard break you, you can just go into this and they're kind of screwed. So you still have options in these situations, but it lets you go into it a little bit safer even when you're closer, so your opponents can't just light you out of it constantly.
Well, it still maintains that like highly technical.
Yeah, of
aspect
course, right?
Highlander.
Because if I want to go into like this, right, I have to go dodge, do it. So it's tricky, like the holding, not holding, mashing, dodge, get into it. So we still want to have that feeling of the inputs are tricky on Highlander. You have to use like your giant brain to be able to like and there's a lot of muscle memory involved in it, right? So that you go, I have to hold, not hold, and like get into those moments. But again, it's one of those things that we're comfortable giving Highlander slightly more complicated inputs, because you have those higher reward situations, and we really want to make sure that Highlander had those options to get into offensive form and really be able to go from defensive to offensive to defensive to offensive, kind of like what we have with Medjay, right? Where you have those two modes, except going into them with Highlander is a lot more complex because you have to hold, you have to do all these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like Highlander mains are kind of like a unique breed, because they're like, we want some love for our hero, but don't you dare dumb it down.
Yeah, right.
And so they love the pain.
Yeah,
They're like, no, I want to have to get it all in there. And so this should
Yeah.
Oh, right. That seems to have been it. It looks
that's what
like.
we have for Highlander. Again, as usual,
I think.
I'm going to be scouring, the usual places when the reworks go
Yeah,
live.
be there with you.
We'll have a lot of people to talk to. It's going to be super interesting, and we'll figure out where we go from there. But hopefully this will help fix the major issues a lot of players have with Highlander, get into it a little bit better, and again, so we can be able to release this rework. Have a lot of so again, leave feedback.
Yes,
If you love
please,
it,
wherever.
leave it. If you don't like it, tell me.
Because we read
Okay.
all the things.
Yeah, we
If
do,
I,
we do.
I'm gonna jump on a soapbox real quick. But yeah, we see a lot of times like, oh, you guys only listen to Reddit. It's literally not true. I read every comment on every social media, everywhere, all the time.
Yeah.
From YouTube comments to Instagram to Twitter to TikTok to Reddit. Like, we're really looking at everywhere you guys are talking at us.
And it's not like you said. I like that you mentioned it, but it's not just Reddit, right? Like we look at everything, and it's more your job.
Yeah,
but
yeah. The rest
love
is the
to-
same as the last
I
rework.
get that direct connection with the players, and sometimes it gets personal, but it's also interesting. But we look at everything. I don't want people to just think, oh, we just look at Reddit, right? It just like you said, we look at Reddit, we look at like YouTube comments, stuff on Instagram, stuff on like the official forums, like absolutely everything everywhere. We talk to pros also. Like we have some, we can talk to them a little bit. We can ask them questions. We can get stuff. So it's not just we're looking at Reddit and we're looking at people on Reddit on the main raid subreddit, right?
Yeah.
We look at the main one. We look at the competitive one. We look at everything.
I even read For Honor rants,
right?
which
That-
is
That I commend you for this.
yeah.
'cause that I
No,
have-
it,
that I have
hey,
a hard
it gives me and my therapist something to talk about.
right, that's the thing. But yeah, but we do look at all the
Yeah.
feedback constantly.
Yeah.
We get reports from you guys as well. So it's super important that we always have a survey as well that we look at. So there's a lot of sources of feedback. Give us your feedback.
Yeah.
This is how we kind of get to be able to gauge where we're at. And sometimes actually a lot of the time we look at it and go, this worked, this didn't work. And like I said, we're human, right? Sometimes I go, this is gonna be super cool, and then
And it just doesn't
side
work
dodge
out.
came
Yeah.
across. Like I'm telling you, we were looking at it, like this is actually pretty cool. You know, it kind of fits with what we had before, which was you had a side dodge into kick, you had a guaranteed heavy. We wanted to keep that kind of feeling going, and we're like, yeah, okay, it's kind of cool. Then it goes out to a lot of players, and it's like, well, actually, it's cool, but it's a bit too
Look,
strong.
if I had a nickel for every time in my life I was like, no, I'm dead sure this is exactly how this is going to
Yeah.
go down, and then it didn't work out, I'd have a shitload of nickels.
Exactly, right? You'd be super
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even be able to walk
Yeah,
anymore.
I could afford
Full of
like
nickels.
a sandwich.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, no, it's we read your feedback wherever you put it, so it's always fun and a little ironic when I'm
Yeah.
like reading Instagram comments and they're like, they only read Reddit, and I'm like, then how did I read this?
How did I read this? Yeah.
Like, anyway, so yeah, please leave us your feedback wherever. Obviously, we're gonna have a TG mega thread that will start up on the 14th. So you can leave your comments there. But if you come
Very
across,
interesting,
go
very
segment
interesting.
on TG on Instagram, give your feedback.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna give it to the man. So
Exactly.
anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
Okay. Just to end this on my side, right? I want to give big props to Noel, one of
Yes.
the designers on our team who worked super hard on all of this. We all work together on this, right? We're always giving feedback. It's as a team, but generally we have like one designer that kind of works harder at integrating the changes.
Mm-hmm.
And so this time it was Noel, did an amazing job. So thank you very much. And yeah, thanks to the whole team. But Noel did amazing on this. Awesome.
All right. Well, just to remind you guys again, TG will be live December 14th through December 21st.
21st.
Yes. Those are the correct
Those are
dates.
the dates.
Somewhere
Well, it's gonna
in
be a pretty
here, I
interesting
think
time
the
frame then.
roadmap is
Yeah, it's in the roadmap, I
24th,
saw, yeah.
and it's wrong. So 21st, 14th, 21st. It's okay. It happens. Typos. It's 10 keys are hard sometimes. Not really. But no. Thank you so much, JC, for joining me on this segment.
Right.
Thank you for all of you at home.
Thank you,
for
yeah.
sticking with us through it. But
Happy
don't
that you
go
guys were
anywhere because
here.
We're going to be right back. We got some tournament stuff to talk about, and then we got more stuff after that. So don't go
Yeah, I did
anywhere.
not expect
Stick
Magi at
around.
all
See you soon.
to get rework. I was not expecting that. Yeah, PK with the bash is pretty cursed. We don't really care about the tournaments. We're just kind of doing our own wrap up. I don't know anybody who actually cares about tournaments. What can we do now? I should probably stop the stream, like the YouTube one. Okay, I want to show you guys something real quick, and then I'm heading out to do this For Honor nonsense. He said bro left the stream on. Yeah. When did the changes live? I actually did not even check. I think next week. I want to say next week. Let me check when. Yeah, something is telling me next. I don't know. Let me not. Start to Aramusha Hero Fest? Well, it is what it is, I suppose. Yep. Oh, wait, show the Ara Xe? Okay. Thursday? Alright. Before I do that, let me show my new Kensei outfit. Yeah, this is looking amazing. The purple was a great choice. Open up runner with muscle memory. Who was it? Oh yeah, Musha. Suit on my best outfit. What is it called? Is it flying arm? Oh. I mean, yeah, it's alright. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say other than that. I don't hate it, and I don't necessarily like it, per se. I mean, it does look funny, though. I will say that. It does look funny. But what outfit? You know what? Actually, we're going to use a blue Kensei for this next outfit, or next Kensei video. But I hope everybody enjoyed, and I hope this was fun. I'm going to go do this Kensei stuff, and thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. And yeah. Is it better than the jumping one? Yeah, to be honest, yeah. But yeah. Embrace your dreams and protect your honor.